Hi, I'm Nathan Ninja Monkey, and today we're talking about traveling on your own versus traveling in a group or traveling with someone. Which one's right for you? Which one do I prefer? There are many reasons why you might want to travel on your own, and these are some, so keep on watching. I'm not a backpacker type of person. I like to stay in normal hotels. Sometimes basic, sometimes I spend a little bit more money, depends on the location. I'll make a video about that in the future. The pros and the cons of traveling by yourself or traveling with a group is different depending on the country. I'm going to be speaking to you mainly about traveling around Japan. So I've traveled around Japan with a group, with a friend, and more recently by myself. And each one of them has given me a different experience, and I wouldn't take it back for anything. The first time that I traveled to Japan in 2014, I traveled with a group of around 14 people, strangers. I didn't know who they were. I basically went online, I searched for a tour, and I joined the tour, and I made some really good friends there. I had a blast. It was a really easy way of traveling. I didn't have to think about anything. I just went with the flow, followed the guide, got on the bus that I was told to get on, got on the train that I was told to get on. There was no thinking involved, and that's really great for some people. I think I've gone beyond that now, in Japan anyway. If you are thinking of going to Japan and you're on your own and you're scared and you might not want to go completely on your own for the first time, then definitely a tour is going to be great for you. You're not going to be on your own, you're going to have people to talk with, you're going to have that safety blanket that you might need, especially for your maiden voyage to Japan. The second time that I traveled to Japan, I traveled with a friend, and the third time that I traveled to Japan, I traveled with another friend. And in both occasions, obviously the person that you travel with is very important. I had two different experiences, both equally as good. I travel with my friend and we have some memories that we share. And that's a really good a really good important thing about traveling with someone. It means that you are going to make memories, you are going to speak about it in the future. You're going to have photos together, you're going to, bring these things up and share these things with other people. When you travel with someone, it's important that you choose the right person that you travel with, because you never know, the person, your best friend, might not be the best travel buddy. The person that you might least expect to be a great travel companion might be someone that you haven't even thought about. When you travel with someone, you are going to have to compromise. There are going to be things that you might not specifically want to see, but you are going to have to go out of your way to see those things for the person that you're traveling with. Likewise, the person that's traveling with you will have to do the same for you. The same thing will happen when you eat at a restaurant. You might feel like eating pizza, the other person might feel like eating sushi, and you might have to compromise there too. There's no two ways about it. So compromising is something that is just going to have to happen. But traveling with someone, traveling in a group, is definitely much more cost effective. It's going to be cheaper to share a room. It's going to be cheaper to sometimes to share a taxi, etc. Traveling with someone will also mean that you can actually taste a little bit more of what the country has to offer. Many times when I've traveled with my friends, we've split the menu. I've chosen something, they've chosen something different, and then we've tried, little bits and pieces from each other. Now, it's not that you couldn't do that on your own, but I think you'd be a little bit greedy if you go into a restaurant, order 7 different dishes and only eat 4 and leave a lot. Not really very nice. Another, I think, important aspect of traveling with someone or traveling as a group is safety. Traveling with someone will also mean that you can actually taste a little bit more of what the country has to offer. Many times when I've traveled with my friends, we've split the menu. I've chosen something, they've chosen something different, and then we've tried, little bits and pieces from each other. Yes, there is safety in numbers. Yes, you are going to feel safer, and if something happens, you have someone there for whatever reason. Now, me personally, traveling around Japan, I feel very safe. I've never been worried about anything happening to me. I know that people are going to take care of me in a really weird way. If I get into trouble, I know that I'll be able to approach a stranger in the street and they will direct me in the right direction. So traveling on your own around Japan isn't the end of the world. You are in a very safe country, and obviously you need to be streetwise, you need to think about your surroundings and not get into any dodgy places, and just use your common sense and you'll be fine. So when you travel as a solo traveler, especially around Japan or anywhere else really, the great thing is that you're your own boss. You can do whatever you want. You can wake up whenever you want, you can have breakfast whenever you want, eat whenever you want, you can go wherever you want, and ultimately you can go to bed whenever you want. If you're tired and you want to go to bed, you do so without feeling that you're letting someone down because they want to do something else. So that's a big plus when you travel by yourself, just being able to do whatever you want and see whatever you want. At the end of the day, when you travel by yourself, you are going to have the best itinerary, because it's going to be the one that you've come up with, and it's going to be the one that you're going to be following, and it's going to be the most flexible one. My personal opinion about traveling on my own is that you're out of the bubble. And what I mean by out of the bubble is that when you are traveling by yourself, it's you and the country, it's you and culture. There's nothing holding you back. When you travel with someone, yes, the country is there, yes, the culture is there, but you're more likely to speak to the person that you're with rather than engage with the people that are around you. You've got this safety net that will maybe stop you from going that little extra step and speaking to people that you might normally not speak to. So I found that although I've traveled with people, and yes, we've met people and we've spoken, I found that when I've been on my own, I've had those instances where I've spoken to people that I would normally speak to, and I've had those instances where I've had people approach me and sit next to me and get me a beer and that kind of thing. So definitely when you're on your own, you are more than likely going to experience culture and the country in a different way. To sum it up, traveling around Japan is easy. You can get a rail pass, you can travel pretty much around the whole of the Japan network very easily. If you have a rail pass and you get lost, you just get off and get onto another train and find the right train back to your destination. Now, I'm not saying that traveling by yourself is absolutely perfect. I know it's probably not for everyone. I was worried the first time that I traveled on my own. You could get lonely. That was my biggest concern. My concern was that I was going to be traveling around for 3 weeks around Hokkaido on my own, and I thought, oh my god, I'm going to get lonely. I'm not going to know anyone, and what if I get lonely, blah blah blah. I did not at any point feel lonely, especially now with the internet. If you really want to, you can Skype someone, you can talk to someone, FaceTime, etc. But to be honest, if you come up with a really good itinerary, you're not going to get lonely, because you're going to be so busy just doing the stuff that you want to do and seeing all the sights that you want to see that you're just not going to have any time to be lonely. So I think if you're worried about being lonely when you're traveling on your own, then my suggestion is come up with a really good itinerary so that you can follow that itinerary to the T, and that way you'll be fine. Promise. Well, not promise, but you'll be fine. What's my experience of traveling around Japan by myself? So I didn't just arrive in Japan with no plans whatsoever. When I got to Japan, when I got to the airport, I knew where I was going. I knew what train I was gonna get. I had everything prepared. I had all my hotels pre-booked. I had a rough itinerary that I was going to follow. I did a little bit of investigation of what I was going to see the following day and the day after. So that's really important. If you want to travel on your own, then plan ahead. I would say be prepared. Don't just leave it to chance. I know some people do the whole, that's why I said at the beginning, I'm not the backpacker type of person. I plan my trips, because I think that if you plan for a successful trip, you are going to end up having a successful trip. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't be flexible, because one of the pros of traveling on your own is that you can be flexible, and it means that if you have a rough itinerary and you have a rough guide of what you're going to be doing for the next few days, then things are going to be smoother. So if you're going to be traveling on your own, then my suggestion is plan ahead, know what you're doing the following day, because if you do feel lonely at any point, you have something to look forward to. And if you look forward to something, to a highlight, then it's going to keep you driven, it's going to keep you going. So that's quite an important thing. You can be flexible, obviously, you know, you can plan a day and it can be pouring down and you might have to change your itinerary altogether, and that's fine. But you have to have that flexibility and that future focus there, so that if something does happen, you know what to do, you know how you're going to react. You have to preempt any problems that you might have. So I've done a lot of traveling, and I'm now looking forward to traveling to Shikoku, which is another island in Japan that I haven't visited yet. So if you're interested in seeing my travels, then, you know, subscribe and press the little bell button next to the subscription so you can keep up to date with that. That's going to be happening later on in the summer. My travel plans at the moment are, I'm really looking forward to going to see the sakura, hopefully, fingers crossed that they bloom. In the first week of April, I'm going to be flying to Tokyo, so you're going to be looking forward to some of my vlogs there, and hopefully I'll be able to meet some other YouTubers, other vloggers that live in the area, so I'll be able to, you know, do stuff with them. They can show me around, and I don't know, if they get in contact with me beforehand, I might be able to get some snacks from Europe and bring them over there for a taste test or something like that. Hint hint, get in contact with me, right? So yeah, I mean, like I said, pros and cons of traveling on your own versus traveling in a group. Ultimately, it's about how you feel. Ultimately, it's about how well you're planned. If you're a good planner, then fine, you'll be able to travel by yourself. But if you're a little bit of a slacker, somebody who doesn't like to plan, then a group is definitely going to be the way forward for you. So I think these are just my thoughts on traveling by myself and traveling in a group. Like I said, I have many stories. I'm going to be talking to the camera like this in the future. So please let me know what you think. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, and press that little bell button to keep notified of any new videos, and comment below. Let me know, what are your stories like? Have you traveled by yourself before? Have you had any nightmare scenarios? Have you traveled with a nightmare group? Because that's something that could happen also. You never know who you're going to be traveling with in some of these package deals, yeah? So just write it all below, because I'm really interested in seeing what your point of view is. Am I completely wrong? I could be, you know? This is just my opinion. This is what YouTube is all about, after all. So, from Gibraltar, bye, see you soon.